Because we're live.
Oh,
amazing. Nice.
I'm looking for eyeballs, but I think we're moving and grooving. So we're live. So we're just going to keep going. So hey everyone, I'm Chris with Profoto. I'm hanging out with Mira and Thilda.
Hello. That sounds really creepy.
Yeah. You know what? You do you. You do you. So we're going to be hanging out today, so letting you get to know a little bit more about them, see their project, The Storm, that you helped choose, and asking any questions that you might want to ask. They're hanging out, and we're going to be kicking it. So just to kind of kick things off, tell people a little bit about yourselves, just in case they are new to Mira and Thilda.
Yeah, okay, so I'm Thilda, one half of Mira and Thilda, and I'm delighted to be here today. And we are hanging in our studio in Odenplan, Stockholm.
Yes.
And yeah, you're Mira.
I am Mira, and we are sisters, and we have been working together as photographers for 12 years now. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And we grew up on the countryside of Sweden. And since it was in the middle of nowhere, there was not so many things to do. And our mom and dad, that were like tree-hugging hippie parents, they bought this house when they were 25 years old. And since we had a lot of time to do things, we started out photographing and exploring the world of photography. Ever since that day, 12 years ago, we have been loving it.
Very, very cool. I'm also getting the hang of like the pictures and stuff. So I'm clicking. I'm like, that's not what that's supposed to do. That's not what that's supposed to do. If you were to describe your style, like the way that you like to photograph, or what would you say is the best description of you two?
That's a hard one. Like, it's easier. Maybe it's easier for like other people to tell us our style, but I think we tend to like this warm, dreamy kind of look. Pictures,
yes, like warm colors, and like we shoot a lot outdoors in nature, and it's hard to describe your own photos because it's all about like.
So would you say that like that dreamy look, nature and stuff is, I guess the better question would be like, what inspires you to shoot the things that you shoot?
What inspires us? I would say nature inspires us a lot, and paintings also. We like to have these kind of pictures that you can dream away in. So to create like this fairy tale kind of dreamy pictures, something like that. And
I would say to like travel and explore different kind of things and settings. And when you're in one place, you're surrounded by a lot of colors, and in one place it's like mesmerizing nature. So you don't like be in the same place too long, and go out and get inspired of all of the different things.
That's awesome. And so how long have you, I know that you said you started when you were young photographing at your home, but how long have you been photographing professionally?
I think we like first years, maybe 2 years, we're just playing around and had no idea what we were doing. But like after that, we started to work as professional photographers, and I was about 18 years old, and I'm 27 now. So yeah, like ever since, but most of the time in the beginning we had no idea what we were doing. So it took some time for us to experiment and find out
how the camera is working,
the settings and everything like that.
How long do you think it took you to find your style? So I know you said you started professionally when you were 18. Were you already pretty defined in y'all's style, or is that something that's just continued to evolve?
I think it takes a lot of time to develop your own style, actually.
And the way you're seeing things also, like develop your own way of seeing. That took some time. It took a couple of years. But we always had a weak spot for like dreamy fairy tale like kind of picture. Like Tim Walker has always been a big inspiration for us ever since we started out shooting. And we liked his picture because it's almost like it's so much storytelling in his pictures. And that's something that we tend to like and try to have in our photos also, that you can create like a mood with your pictures and tell something with your pictures. That's something we try to achieve. when we're shooting.
And Tim Walker, for those who don't know about him, he's a really amazing photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So as a duo, when it comes to concepts, does just one of you go, hey, I have this idea for something, and you both expand on it? Or, I mean, how does that working as a tandem?
Well,
we have been working like this for every year, so I don't know, it works nice, I think.
Yeah, like Mira, if we would describe what, I don't know if this answers your question, but most of the time Mira is the one who edits the photos, and I'm the one doing more film stuff. And but we like to play around with the different roles of being in front of the camera and being back of the camera. And sometimes we are shooting with the models, and sometimes we are in front of the camera ourselves. Does that answer your question, or? I
think any questions or any answer is a good answer, especially for anyone who's trying to, like I said, learn a little bit more about who you two are. So I think that's pretty neat. So we're going to get ready here in just a couple of seconds to jump into the video. But do you want to kind of talk about it just a little bit before we kick it off?
Yeah, so like we have 3 different kind of sceneries. And we have printed them. So like the concept was the storm, and the first photo is like the beginning of the storm almost, which Mira is almost a weather god pulling the clouds behind her. So that's the first photo. And the second photo, that's like in middle of the storm.
Next photo sequentially depicts the storm in its most furious state, with a lot of wind and chaos. And in general,
that's like we took it like in 3 steps. So one is the beginning of the storm, and one is in the middle of the storm.
Yeah.
And the last photo we have, oops, is this one. We accidentally printed this on blank paper, so it's very easy. We hold it like this.
Yeah.
So the last photo shows the aftermath of the storm. Wind and chaos are replicated with tranquility, and we're beginning to see the light seeping through a hat with holes that we constructed. And the inspiration for this one was the sun seeping through the clouds. So it's like one is in the beginning of the storm, one is in the middle of the storm, and this is the aftermath of the storm. So that was our like thoughts behind the whole shoot.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So we're going to start the video up now for everybody. So hopefully you enjoy it. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat on Profoto.com inside the actual live stream page. We can talk there. If you have any gear questions, let us know. If you have any questions specifically for Mira and Thilda, drop them in there and we will answer them at the end of the video. So here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Let's do it.
We had to start from darkness to understand light, and from there build up our scene light by light. For us to get a balanced picture, we had to get to know the whole spectrum of light, everything from bright sunlight, darkness, and in between. We are Mira and Thilda, and today we're going to walk you through this shoot step by step and give you all the tips and tricks we wanted to hear when we started out shooting. Thank you so much for helping us decide the concept. The winning concept is the storm. And if you have some questions, just ask them and we'll answer them directly after this shoot. So the first shoot we're going to do, I'm going to be the photographer and Mira is going to be the model. And we're going to have a big cloud. We will experiment a lot on set. We have left some creative decisions on set, so we'll see how this goes. But we're super excited, so let's do this. We're going to shoot with some A10s today, or go-to flashes, because it's so much power in these small flashes. I love them. And or Canon R5 and our go-to lens 24-70mm. We also have a mist filter on this one. Do you want to show? Mm-hmm. We found out about this for like 1 year ago. You put it on and it becomes a little bit more dreamier, the look and the feeling of the pictures. So we're going to have that on our lens. We will explore different kind of sceneries and try out different kind of setups, but we'll try to explain what we're doing while we're shooting. So the first thing we're gonna do today is having Mira in front of a big cloud that her friend accidentally have. So we're gonna use that one and put a flash in it and then have Mira in front of the cloud, and we'll see how it turns out. We're gonna explore. Okay, so this is the cloud. Doesn't look like a cloud now, but we will blow it up. Not blow it up, put some air in it. Dun, dun, dun. Wait for it. Now I'm gonna put this flash into the cloud over there, and to connect the camera to the flash, I'm going to use this Profoto Connect. So the plan is that this light is going to create kind of a soft box kind of feeling behind Mira. Then I'm going to put another flash in front of Mira with a deep umbrella. It works. So I don't know the exact settings, but I think I want this flash to be quite strong. Let's, now it's really strong, great. Let's put it in the cloud. So I have my cloud lit, everything works, and it creates some kind of soft light that also is lighting up some parts of the building, and that's something I like, because I think the walls are beautiful. And so Mira, if you can stand under the cloud, I'm gonna try and see how it is with one light. I would like to have one more light, a key light. And I'm gonna get one more A10. This light, off camera also. And this one. So I'm using a deep umbrella in size large. And for this I'm gonna have a diffuser also that I will put on. I'm going to show you guys the difference between having the first flash in the cloud only, and then I'm going to put my key light on and you'll see the difference. As you can see here, we have the cloud lit up in a beautiful way. I'm going to put the key light here with a deep umbrella, and we'll see how that turns out. Now I have my key light there in front of Mira, and I have one light source, A10, into the cloud. Yes, so now you can see here that Mira is lit up. We're also going to change some clothes for Mira and put a fan in front of her to make the fabric come alive. Okay, so let's put Mira on place. So we have some haze, and I like to have some haze in my shoes because it creates more of a dreamier, mistier look, and it also catches on the lights. And then I also have this big fan that will make Mira's dress come alive a little bit more and create more of a stormier kind of feeling. So let's put on the fan and take the first picture. We're gonna try to take some pictures without you holding the strings, so you can just like move a little bit more. And I want these pictures to be kind of wide, and I also like that you can see the Profoto flash in it because I think it looks good. And now we're gonna do some pictures without Mira holding the string. I wanted Mira to be a part of the storm, and I wanted to have these kind of dramatic poses that she's like walking or flowing in the wind, almost something like that. And I also wanted this one to come alive, so that's I wanted to have her somewhere around here, so the fan hits her pretty good, and this key light is catching her face, and the flash in the cloud is doing the work with lighting up this industrial studio. For my second shot, I wanted the cloud to be on the ground, because I'm gonna take a little bit of a tighter shot, and I'm gonna place Mira in front of the cloud, and I'm gonna have my umbrella a little bit closer to Mira, and the closer I'm gonna put the umbrella towards Mira, the softer the light will be. I also want some haze and a fan. Let's try it out. It's a little bit overexposed, as you can see, and I'm gonna change the flash in the cloud. It's that one, a little bit less, and I'm also gonna change this one a little bit less, somewhere around here. Yeah, and I'm also gonna place my umbrella a little bit closer towards Mira. Something like that. Let's try. I'm happy with the light, by the way. Mira to have a dramatic pose, but also I wanted like the arm not to cover her face, and I wanted the light to catch on to the face. So I was moving around the flash a little bit to find the sweet spot where Mira could move around and the light is still like in the face. When looking at this picture, I see that the the flash that I put in is only lighting a part of the cloud, and I would like to have the whole cloud to be lit up. So I'm gonna try to put 2 more flashes in and see how that goes. Before we just had 2 flashes, and now we're gonna have 4. I would like to have a little bit less power into the umbrella so the picture won't be overexposed. I'm gonna put my umbrella here again, and maybe I'm gonna try to put it here. Oh, okay, so let's see how it looks in the camera. Yeah, this is much better. So now we have more of the cloud lit up. So I'm gonna see how it is with the key light also.
Okay, so now the cloud scene is done and we are going to move forward to the next shoot and the next setup.
Yeah, okay, so the plan is to have a backdrop somewhere around here, and we will have some flashes behind the backdrop to show the whole area behind the backdrop, and some rim lights and a key light and some wind and some flowy fabric.
Let's start.
I think color brings out so many emotions, and we like to play with the contrast between the colors. So I'm gonna pop out from the background a little bit more. Good. So this will be our key light, and we are still gonna use our favorite diffuser, Deep Umbrella.
Okay, so we borrowed our mom's old lamps and we are going to try to put in A10s inside of them.
And I think it's really fun. You can explore different kind of lightning setups and trying to put your light sources in some creative ways if you don't want to have the flash in the picture, but you want to use the flash. So if you find an old lamp or something at home, try to put the flash inside of the lamp and see how it ends up.
And we are also going to put on gels on the top of the A10s to create this kind of warm cinematic light.
And also it's really nice that you can have the model light on, so you can see where light is directed.
For example, you see it now on Thilda.
Ah. Okay, so I will be standing somewhere around here, and I will have a fan somewhere around here that will make the fabric come alive. And I will have a A10 placed in this old lamp that will become a rim light to make me pop out from the background. And I will have one A10 placed behind the backdrop to light up the walls.
This shoot, I really want the fabric that Thilda is wearing, that it should like remind you of a windy day. So I'm going to turn these 2 fans on. One key light over there with a deep umbrella and one big diffuser on it, so it creates like this soft kind of light. And also 2 rim lights over there in these 2 old lamps. And I also placed one flash behind the backdrop. Yeah, I think it looks good. Okay, so let's take a test shot. Okay, so I am going to turn the fans on because I really want the fabric to come alive like a windy day, and it should be stormy. So for this picture, until that, I really wanted it to be symmetric because you have one light here and one light there, and I wanted that to be in the middle. So I tried to just focus and photograph Thilda from the middle because I wanted it to be like centered.
So for this last picture, we're gonna take a wider shot, and we place 2 ladders in the foreground to create more of a behind the scenes kind of picture. Okay, so moving on to the last picture. And it's gonna be a tight shot of me, and I'm gonna have an illusion of a hat. It's gonna look like a hat, hopefully, like this. And the plan is to have a flash, 1 flash or 2 flashes from behind, and hopefully we'll create some light streaks through the hat. And to lighten up the face, we're gonna use a deep umbrella and 1 more A10 and put it in front of my face.
Yeah, it's nice. It's super nice. You are perfect, Thilda. Don't change the pose. Nice. Here, for example, the model light is really helpful because I see exactly where the flash is going to hit, and I don't want the flash to appear in the picture. I just want it to be in the background, so I really, really like the model light function. Some shake.
So the plan with this photo is that my hat is gonna visualize kind of a cloudy day, and you see some light streaks coming through the cloud. And I think the haze is catching up the light pretty good. So we're gonna try to take 1 more photo when I'm standing on a ladder. I'm gonna show you the picture. If you can see.
We love to create in the middle of dreams and reality. Flash opens up for entirely new possibilities, and all of a sudden we can photograph in a new way without the limitations of natural light. We can add light or take it away, and the best thing is, we don't need to wait for the sun to set because we create the sun ourselves. We wanted to create light where there is none. According to us, in the world of photography, there is no right or wrong.
It was so fun to hang out with you guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode and feel free to ask us any questions in the chat.
So that was cool. I love that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so that was the live shoot.
Yes, it was.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and like some comments about the concept. I must say that I'm really happy that the guys who voted on the storm instead of the circus, because I think the storm is a more challenging task to visualize than the circus, and who doesn't like a challenge? And it's like more of an abstract one, so it can be like different kind of things. That's the funny things with photography, that you can really like play around.
It's all about your imagination.
It's awesome. The cutout to look like a hat, I was like, that's just awesome. That's so cool. and someone else was actually wondering what the cloud's made of, or what is the cloud?
Yeah, the cloud is it's like a balloon almost.
It's a big fan inside of it.
Yeah, so you can
makes the air come into the cloud. So otherwise, it's just like a lot of fabric. But when you put the fan inside of it,
it's almost like a tent with a fan.
Yeah, exactly.
You Googled like inflatable cloud.
Yeah, almost. No, we like went to a friend and asked him, "Do you have some cool stuff that we can borrow for this shoot? We're gonna try to visualize a storm." And he had 2 clouds, so we got to borrow one of them, and yeah, fun to have. Yes.
That's very, very cool. And so one person asked about the mist filter, and they ask how it works, but they also want to know what it's called in Swedish.
I think we call it the same thing, mistfilter. Mistfilter. Just another like pronounce. So it works like this. You have it on your lens, and you just like have it like almost like a glass thing that you put on the lens, and then I think you see the mist filter more when you have like some sun or something,
a light source.
Yeah, light source that is meeting the lens, because then it becomes more soft and more like more soft, and we tend to always have that on our lens.
Because we really like this soft kind of misty look.
Yeah, and I think it's you use that when you're filming, but not so much in photography. So I think it's fun to bring it out when you're shooting with stills also.
Absolutely. Someone was also asking about the location. Is that's your studio, correct?
No, it is.
We wish it were a studio, but
I would also like to live there. But they got it's actually a garage, I think, or something like that. It's in this industrial building that they're gonna take down soon. So it was like the last time someone will be there, sadly, because it's really beautiful. I love the walls, and it's really cool. I wish I had my studio there, but it's outside of Stockholm.
Yeah. Were you using? Someone wants to know. Were you using the smoke machine in all the scenes, or just in a few?
In all of them.
Yeah.
And also because I think when you're using light and haze, I think it is something magical that is happening when you're doing that. You can see like the light streaks through the, and so we tend to use a lot of haze when we are shooting indoors and outdoors also. So that's something like an easy thing to
bring. It looks more like mysterious, more moody, and
I love
like
it.
that.
Haze and mist, two good things to have with you.
Very, very cool. Someone wants to know, is there a reason that you use the Connect rather than the Air Remote on the gear side?
I think we almost always just use the Connect.
Yeah.
So and I think it's really like easy to use. So that's
Just like the flashes, the Profoto Connect is very easy to use. It's basically just to put it on top of the camera and it works. And it's the same with the flashes. It's almost just to turn them on and start shooting.
That's why I love Profoto's all the gear that Profoto has, because you don't have to think so much about the technique. You can just basically just plug it in and it works. Or turn it on and it works.
That's awesome. I know somebody asked earlier about using the flat, if they all had to be on like different groups whenever you're using it on your mobile, and they don't. So it doesn't, when you're using your phone as the controller, it doesn't work like the Air Remote. So they could all be on A, and you could just change the power independently. The only thing that's going to matter is whether you're in TTL or manual mode. And I'm guessing you were in manual mode for these shoots.
Yes, we were.
With so many lights, you have to be able to control each of them individually. So it's cool that you can do that from the app. Let's see.
It's amazing. And especially when you have like one flash in a cloud and you can't really reach it, it's perfect to just like bring up your phone and change the setting and like get the right settings from there.
Yeah. And that just, someone else also asked, it looked like you were using manual instead of TTL. If correct, why? And just
yeah, I think it's the same thing with when we are shooting with the camera. We almost always use the manual settings there. So I think it's nice that you can control it all yourself. And maybe like the first shot we can shoot in TTL, and then we usually change it to manual because I think it's nice to, like do the small touches and have control of exactly what you're doing. So that's the main reason of why we're shooting in manual.
But if we shoot with TTL sometimes when we are like shooting, not an event, but like friends, and we want it to go quickly, and we don't have time to set the perfect setting on the flash. So in those kind of cases, we choose to shoot with TTL. Otherwise, always manual.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Someone's asking a technical question from the US. They're asking about using a wide lens instead of the diffusion panel on the umbrella, and just you could put a wide lens onto your A10 and it will widen the shot into the umbrella. But the point of the diffuser is to take all that light that's brighter in some spots of the umbrella and not as bright in other spots and make it all even. So you could use a wide lens, but it doesn't do the same thing as the diffuser is going to do. Let's see. When were you using just an umbrella stand for your like to put the A10 inside the umbrella, or did you use the OCF adapter with the umbrella stand?
We had the adapter. When
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm scrolling through, like as the video was going, I was trying to type as many of the questions there so I could just be like, okay, I've got them all right here. Perfect. And now I've run out.
Yeah, no worries.
And people have questions. So, and someone said it looked like the cloud was parachute material. Is that correct?
Maybe that's something I have to ask our friends.
Yeah, I think he
about.
made it himself.
No, I don't think so.
No,
He has
maybe
two
not.
clouds.
Oh,
I
okay.
have no idea actually, but it could be. It was kind of like this thick fabric,
Yeah.
something like that. So maybe it was.
Yeah. So someone wants to know, how important is image editing? Do you modify a lot of things, or do you try to get as much correct in camera first?
I would say that we try to get as much correct at first, but then like it is really fun to play around with the contrast and colors afterwards. As you can see here, for example, like the walls in this picture are really bluish, and in the other picture we wanted them to be really like warm. So mostly we try to get as much as possible like on set. But then it's fun. Mira is the editing expert here, so
Yeah,
it's fun.
I am a huge fan of photo editing, but I try to not edit too much because we like to keep the images kind of raw. But I think it's very, very fun to retouch the photos.
Yeah, but most of the time it's like it's really fun to play around with gels to achieve the right colors from the start, from when you're shooting. So we are really a fan of having like gels with us, and it also creates like this cinematic look from start. So then you get inspired when you're shooting, and so yeah, we do a little bit of both, I would say.
Mhm.
But we try to do as little as possible afterwards.
So would you say that you probably do more or less just like color toning and stuff like that in Photoshop?
Yeah, we tend to like a warmer feeling of the photos. So I usually like drag the temperature to the warmer color, yeah. And what was the question again? Sorry.
I was just saying, so more or less like you're trying to get most of your concept done on set, and then whenever you get to post-production, you're probably mostly spending your time doing color toning and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, a little bit more.
Very, very cool. Someone wants to know if you use any type of presets or film emulsions, or if all your all of your color is done by yourself.
Yeah, if you're editing in Lightroom, we have made a lot of different presets. But all of these photos that we were shooting, we were editing them without any presets, used some basic stuff in Photoshop. So basically we just turned the shadows up and brought the highlights down in Camera Raw, and then we were doing some details in Photoshop. But for Instagram and most of our photos, we use Lightroom presets.
Yeah, it's really handy to have presets, especially if you're shooting, like taking a lot of pictures with the same kind of light and the same kind of setup. Then I would say the presets are gold. It's a time saver.
Yes,
it is.
Very, very cool. Someone wants to know, oh, I lost it. Come back to me. What printer do you use?
Printer?
Yeah, printer.
Yeah, we have a Canon printer, but we forgot to buy the colors, the color tones of them. So for this one, we actually went around the corner to a printing shop, and we printed them there. So we were cheating a little bit. You know, you're always like missing to buy one color or something like that, and then you're collecting dust at home.
Recently, I went to go print something, and I was like, "Awesome! I'm missing one cartridge, just one cartridge."
All the time like that.
Of like, there's like 50 cartridges, and of course, I'm only missing the one that I need. So, let's see. Someone asked a technical question. A1. What's the difference between an A1 A1x and A10? So, just to break it down in its simplest form, the A1X was a faster version of the A1. More battery life, even though the batteries are compatible. And the A10, we added our Bluetooth and our AirX technology inside of it. So the A1X and the A10 are relatively similar, except for the A10 has all of our Bluetooth control, so you could use your mobile device and control the power up and down. Or you can also take photos with it too if you want to, because the Xenon flash works with it. Let's see if we have any other questions before we sign off. Let's see. So someone was wanting to know what lens you were using.
Yeah, okay. So this lens is one of our absolute favorite lenses, and we have been using the same lens for almost like 10 years or something. So we're using this 24 to 70 millimeters Canon lens, and that's our go-to lens. And we almost like do all of our pictures with this one, because you have the possibilities to zoom out and in and stuff like that, and that's it's perfect.
Yeah. So all of these photos is taken with that lens, and mostly all of our photos is taken with that lens.
Yeah. And before we were shooting with this R5, we had a Canon 5D Mark IV, and we had the same lens on that one also. Yeah.
So that's the best lens we know.
Yeah, but like for some portrait shoots and stuff like that, we tend to like this 70 to 200 millimeters. It's a good complement to this one. Also, if you're shooting like landscape and stuff like that, it's two good lenses that I'm a really big fan of.
That's awesome. Someone wants to know, Scott wants to know, conceptually, when working with agencies or magazines, do you come up with the concepts? Do you work collaboratively with the art director, or is it a bit of both?
It's a bit of both. It depends on
what kind of mission it is, or if we are coming up with the idea, or if we get the idea from someone else.
I like to be a part of the whole creative process when we're working. So that's something that we are try to do. We try to be a part of the whole process as much as possible. But it depends really on what kind of
mission,
work it is.
Yeah,
but it's really fun to be a part of the creative process. I would say.
From the beginning, creates more freedom.
That's awesome. Jens wants to know, do you shoot tethered? Because they believe they have seen an orange cable in your videos before.
What's that? In Sweden.
Tethered when you're photographing with your camera and the picture goes straight to your computer.
Oh, okay. No, never. Usually we are like running around too much on set, so most of the time we're just like looking in the camera and like, and then running out to the next spots.
Yes.
So we don't. No, we never. But it might be a good idea to try out that sometimes.
You never know. But you know what? Maybe not throw something in your workflow that you're not, it doesn't work for you. So sometimes tethering works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Pete from Australia would like to know how you got started with Flash.
Oh, that's really like 10 years ago when we started out shooting, we bought 3 flashes and we didn't really get them to work. They were too complicated. They had like tons of buttons and things like that. So it was like a little bit too complicated to us. So we never really got into the world of flashes. So it was like 2 years ago when we started working with Profoto that we picked up the flashes again. And it was like when the technique is so simple and easy to use, it was more fun for us to develop our knowledge about flashes and artificial light. So I would say 2 years ago we started out shooting with flashes, and so we are quite new to this world, but I love it. It's super fun, and it's only like the beginning of this journey with flashes. I think it's really fun.
Dolphy wants to know who has more ideas or themes for the photographs. Is it Thilda or Mira?
I would say you.
No, it's both. I would say,
but mostly you, actually.
But Mira is like the editing master, so I have to do something, I guess. So I try to come up with different kind of concept and stuff like that, being a part of the creative process. And Mira is creative with the pictures afterwards. Mm-hmm. So we try to like have different kind of roles when we are shooting.
That's awesome. Anders says he loves how creative you are and how effortlessly you play with the light. Just move it around and try different things. Well done. What is your next project?
That's a hard task. I don't know. We'll see what the world brings
to us.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. We have like me and Mira, we never stopped creating stuff, and like sometimes it happens spontaneously, so we don't really have something planned, but I'm sure something fun will happen, or otherwise we will create and have a good, so plan some fun stuff together. Like living in Sweden now, it's kind of cold, so you can't really be outside, so that's why we try to shoot as much as possible and explore in our own studio and explore with the world of flashes and try out different kind of setups indoors.
Yeah, but the thing with photography is that you can never be like fully learned. It's so much to learn.
And sometimes you can just like get stuck with lightening a potato or something like really small, but you can light it in different kind of ways. So that's what makes it super exciting. So yeah.
I'm only a potato photographer. That's the only thing I
That's how it starts.
Yes.
just potatoes. Sorry, I gotta stop chuckling. So someone wants to know, how is it working as a photographer right now during the whole pandemic?
Well, I would say it's a bit harder, but you have more time to do personal projects, and we have less commercial things to do, but more time to explore
and learn new things.
Yeah, exactly. So to study light and go out and like see how light is behaving in the nature and stuff like that, and try to bring that inspiration into things we're doing ourselves. So I would say we have more time to create pictures and do our personal projects, but
and
less commercial
things.
Yeah, but it's like another kind of time that we are having.
Do you find yourself creating more in studio or more on location, or is it a pretty even mix of both?
It's nowadays it's a mix of both. Before we were almost always
Only
shooting
on location.
But now when we have like gone into the world of flashes, I would say that it's more fun to shoot in a studio because you can experiment a lot and try out different kind of lighting setups and like what happens if you put some gels on and some haze, and how is that behaving compared to stuff like that. So nowadays we're shooting a lot in studio, especially wintertime in Sweden. You can't.
It's dark and
A lot of sunlight. Very, very cool. I don't believe we have any other questions. I'm going to start winding this down, but if someone has another question in the meantime, I will ask. Oh, just now another question came in. Let's see. Do you have an idea of what light you want to create beforehand, before a shoot, or do you just experiment as you go?
Well, I think the image that we have in our head, it's quite important. So we have this like clear picture in our mind, but then we have to leave some things open on set because like you never know how the walls are like behaving together with the light and stuff like that. So we have to leave some creative decisions on set. But I think the image in our head is more important than how we use the technique. So we experiment a lot on sets. And that's really fun.
Someone wants to know, how did you make the hat? What's it made out of?
Oh, it's actually a really cheap cartoon that we bought. And we made
like paper.
Yeah, like a thicker paper. And we were cutting the holes ourselves.
Yeah, the day before the shoot, just like, I hope this will work. Because you can't really buy a hat like that. So we bought some cartoon and cut some holes in it, and then it created this illusion of a hat. Or I think it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Not if you like looking.
I thought it was. That is awesome. Like when I saw it originally, I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's not a top to it," and like you're never even looking for that. Like it's just everything else is so fantastic in the shot that like you're not trying to figure out like, is there a top of that hat? Like where's this hat from? Like it was just, I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
Okay,
thank you so
much. Cool. So I don't see any other questions. Like I said, I'm going to wind it down. If someone has one more question, I'm going to ask it before we're done. But thank you all so much. If you want to follow, oh, here we go. I knew one question was going to come in. Did you use what size umbrella did you use?
The large one.
Yeah, but also the one. But in these photos, we use the large.
Yeah, only the large one. all favorite diffuser. It's so easy to use and so like quick. It's a favorite light shape. Yeah, the umbrella is perfect.
Gotcha. Someone asked, what does the Berglin sisters mean? They saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah.
It's our last name.
I had a feeling that's what that was.
It's a last name.
Yeah.
But actually my last name and my surname is Mörlid. So yeah, Berglin Mörlid sisters. Yes.
Very, very cool. Awesome. So, we said what the material for the hat was. You said it was like a thick paper, right? Like almost like a poster or something.
Cartoon,
Yeah.
paper,
Very cool.
what they had in the store.
You can whatever works for you. Something that won't be too wobbly.
Yeah, totally. Well, this was awesome. This was so much fun. The video was amazing. The photos are even more amazing. And you two are incredibly fun to hang out with. So I really, really appreciate it.
Same to you.
And thank you so much for having us today. It was super nice to be here. And
yeah, for sure.
Cool. So if you want to follow Mira and Thilda, I have their Instagram handle in the corner right now. So go and check that out. Give them a follow. And thank you, ladies, so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have an awesome day.